My name is Kobie Mughenyu. I'll be your host today. This is the Tech Magazine. We are privileged at least to host the CEO Ecomoto, Mr. Mark Smith. Mark Smith, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
You guys are doing the electricity bikes.
Mm-hmm.
So if I may ask, for how long have you been in Kenya and why did you choose this market?
Well, we've been in Kenya quite some number of years and doing a different sort of business. Ecomoto is a wholly owned subsidiary of a larger group of companies, of which I'm CEO, called Sunbury Heights Group, which traditionally was in construction, project management. So that's how we started off in Kenya, and we operate in 19 countries in the world. Ecomoto was a company that we launched only about a year ago because I saw, as somebody that lives in Nairobi, the crying need for e-transportation in this market for a whole number of reasons, not only for economy, but also in terms of ecology, of course, which is important to us all.
I've said you have a couple of range of which is your flagship product in terms of this, because you have a couple of range of this.
We have a present in Nairobi. I think in the warehouse we have at least 30 different types of vehicles, and they range from motor scooters. If you look at our website, ecomoto.co.ke, if you look at that, you'll see motor scooters like the E50, which is probably the best-selling motor scooter that we have. And they range from motor scooters right up to what you'd call, I suppose, super bikes, motorcycles that are designed for performance, or all 100% electrically powered, but designed for performance. So we have quite a range. We also, of course, sell electric quad bikes here, but to much lesser extent. But yeah, the range is quite large, and the aim is to offer something to every segment of the market.
We have a challenge because we have covered some of these cases in some of the players in this industry, and they're not quite okay with what the government is. There's no the import duty they're saying is too crazy. There's no tax relief or something. Do you work out such on your side too?
I absolutely concur with that. That's one of the main issues that we face. The problem with adoption of electric transportation in Kenya is without doubt the cost of the vehicles as they're brought in, and that applies to electric cars as well as it applies to electric motorcycles and electric scooters. There is no concession by the government on import duties here. So for instance, electric motorcycles that we bring in are still sadly beyond the reach of many potential riders here, and that's a great pity. In order to really really support the development of green transportation in Kenya, the government really does need to slash import duties for green vehicles, as many other countries worldwide have done. When that's done, then the price will fall by, of an average one of our vehicles, by about 50%. So you'd see what a difference that makes to the potential market.
That's a very huge difference. That's a very huge difference. Can you try kindly take us about the range of your flagship motor?
You mean the cost?
No, the range. Can you
the range. Yeah. Well, that's something that dogs electric transportation of any type, isn't it? The state of the art of the technology, mainly battery technology. Of course, motorcycles, because they're much smaller than cars, by necessity have a smaller battery. So the battery has a range of a single charge of somewhere around 60 kilometers. Some of them have large, some of them have about 80 to 100 kilometers, but the average is about 60 kilometers range before you have to charge it up. Now, of course, that's an issue. If you have a petrol-driven motorcycle and it runs out of petrol, you just pop into the petrol station and fill it up. A couple of minutes, you drive out again. With an electric motorcycle, we're aiming to offer the same sort of functionality, which is that even though it's got a range of, say, 60 kilometers from a fully charged battery, we're setting up a network of 80 battery swap stations around in and around Nairobi, where riders that are approaching the end of their battery life, and there's clear indicators on the dashboard of the vehicle exactly what stage of battery you're at, can just drive in within a minute and a half, swap the battery for a fully charged battery and drive out again without having the charging time, without having to plug in for 4 hours, for instance, to charge the battery up. When you buy one of the new Ecomoto models, motorcycle or motor scooter, you get 1 year free membership of Ecomoto Plus, which is free battery swapping anywhere you find a swap station. So there's no extra cost in that. Of course, that's the main benefit. Even though there is a slight restriction on range, and the battery swapping stations aim to address that, the cost savings, of course, are huge.
So you mean once someone purchases this one of your bike, to give a 1 year warranty? Do they have warranty?
They do. They have a 1 year warranty on the motorcycles, and there's elements of them that have a higher, that have a longer term warranty. The battery technology, of course, is key. These are very high-tech vehicles. Every vehicle, you can start from your smartphone, you can control it from your smartphone, you can track it from your smartphone, you can check its health, its battery health, everything else from your smartphone. It's very, very easy to do. And of course, it includes alerts if it moves off a certain location, if, for instance, somebody takes it without consent, you get alerts on your smartphone, alarms. So these are very high-tech vehicles, yes, we aim to cater for the mass market. And this is the way, of course, transportation is going everywhere in the world.
Do you assemble them in Kenya, or you just import them the way they are as whole?
At the moment, our initial, for our first year, we've brought them in already assembled, although our plans are to start assembling them in Kenya. Once again, it's key that we address that import duty issue. I think there's 45% now on e-vehicles coming in, the same as in cars, which is far too much. Most other countries have slashed import duty on green vehicles. Just on the batteries alone, there's 35% import duty, and there's no reason that should be there.
Very true, very true, very true. For the case of my viewers, I would like to ask, how much does the range, how much does this go for?
Price, yes.
Yeah.
Well, as I say, import duties bump the price up. I think our average is about 160,000 shillings, and that's a problem. I understand for an average buyer, but we are putting in place financing options for that. And of course, don't forget, within a year, or in some of the vehicles a year and a half, the savings you'll make on fuel costs alone will pay back the cost of the brand new vehicle. So it's something you're saving on every single day. Of course, insofar as you're still faced with an upfront purchase cost, it limits the market. If import duties were quashed, for instance, that price would halve. But at the moment, given the existing importation structure, yes, it's about 160,000, 170,000 shillings. But as I say, we have financing options available to make that a lot more palatable.
So far, you've told me you've been 2 years, right, in Kenya? How many units have you sold so far, so good, if you can remember?
Well, it's going slowly. We're selling mainly from websites at the moment. We have stock in Kenya, so if you buy today, for instance, one of our vehicles, you'll get it today. You know, you're not ordering from overseas. It's not going to take 2 months or 3 months to arrive. These vehicles are already here. So I think we've done I think 3 times our turnover, so we've cleared the warehouse 3 times. So I'd say early days, we're in our 500 level, something like this. So we're moving ahead more slowly perhaps than we'd like, but we're trying to achieve a critical mass here. And brand identity, of course, is key, so people know us.
Very true, very true. 500 units, that's not bad. That's not bad. You guys are in the right track. As you all know, boda industry is one of the biggest industry in Kenya. What plan do you have at least to trap into the boda industry?
It's our dream. I dream about this at night. The boda industry is by definition the biggest market for green motorcycles. That's exactly the market we want to capture. Now, how do we do it? Well, we can make the economic argument to them, which of course is important to every individual boda driver. How much are they going to save by driving an electric vehicle, one of our vehicles, compared with their existing Chinese-made petrol motorcycle? Well, they're going to save almost 100% on fuel costs, so that's significant. Also, though, we're appealing to people's public spiritedness. The average amount of CO2 that's pumped out into the atmosphere per kilometre is 46.5 grams of CO2 pumped out into the atmosphere by every motorcycle kilometre. Now, if you count the 1.5 million motorcycle riders, that in effect amounts to 3,500 metric tons of CO2 that's pumped into the atmosphere by motorcycles in Kenya per day. It's an environmental catastrophe. That is why when I left home today, I drove onto the Ngong Road. I was choking because the air quality deteriorates so badly. We've all got children in and around Nairobi. We want our children to grow up healthy and happy in an environment where they can breathe clean air. This is something that has real urgency now. As you know, in Britain, where I was born, they're just concluding the COP26 summit to address climate change. This is not about climate change, something that's going to happen in 10 or 20 years. This is about the quality of our lives in Kenya now. And that's the most important thing to recognize. If we could get boda drivers to understand the economic benefits and the environmental benefits and reduce the price point of the vehicles by the import duty reduction, we believe we'd have a good chance of converting the vast majority of boda drivers to e-transportation.
Very true, very true. Do you have any plans of maybe venturing into public transport system in Kenya?
We would like to. This is an industry, green transportation, that's in its infancy here. We see lots of potential spin-offs once e-transportation begins to be popularly adopted. And it's thanks to yourself and programs like your own that publicise the benefits of e-transportation. The very real economic benefits, because it saves money, it's good for the environment. It's what they call, I believe in America, a no-brainer. You know, why wouldn't you do it?
Very true, very true, very true. Can you take us through because I remember you mentioned that you guys are in 3 countries in Africa. Can you take us through maybe what you guys are doing apart from Kenya? Are you selling the same units, the intake compared to this other country? Because it must be a reason why you decided to come into Kenya.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we decided to start the business in Kenya, firstly because it's a country very, very, very close to my heart. Half of my family are Kenyan. So it's a country very close to my heart. My relatives, everything else, you know, children, etc., brought up here. So the quality of air is important to me as it is to anybody else. But we looked at other countries as well, Tanzania and Nigeria, where we operate. We operate a slightly different model in other countries in the sense that what we're doing is operating through existing motorcycle dealerships. We're very much in a sort of suck it and see type of situation now, where we're looking how the market operates in each of the countries and which one is the most interesting for us. In Kenya, because it's closest to my own heart, we operate directly as Ecomoto. We're not a dealer of somebody else. We are operating here ourselves. which means we can keep costs lower, as low as we can, and we can speak genuinely to people about what we believe passionately about, which is about the environment and about saving people's money. You know, people are paying, with recent increases in petrol costs in Kenya, of course, this is even more of an argument. Why wouldn't you drive an electric vehicle?
If I may ask, maybe for the cause of my viewership, let's say, for example, if someone wants one of this piece of EcoMota bikes, where can he find it?
Well,
do you sell it on websites? Do you have a show house? Where can I?
We're in the process of signing a lease, actually, these days on a new showroom in Karen. But at the moment, we've been selling them all from our website. Customers that want to come and look, take for a test drive, we take to our specialist warehouse where they can take them for a test drive around, but we sell them primarily from the website, where we have all the specifications, the prices, the ranges, all information you could want. But as I say, these are available in Nairobi now, same day delivery. We're not asking people to take a risk on ordering something from overseas. These things are. Ecomoto is a Kenyan company. We're a Kenyan company. We're not a foreign company. We're a Kenyan company selling products here in Kenya, and that's the way we want to remain.
You've mentioned about financing some time back. Which those financial issues that you guys have the partnership with?
Yeah, we're working with a couple of banks now to launch a financing option. That's not ready for launch now, but we hope within the next 6 to 8 weeks we will launch this financing option, where you can go in and make just a simple deposit down payment and drive away. So that's ideally where we'd be. At the moment, virtually every motorcycle that we've sold is for cash. People paid up front. We're also, I should say, launching in the next month or so a promotional competition where we're giving away one of our vehicles every month to people that apply through our website and join our competition. So one a month we're giving away, because our aim in launching Ecomoto was not just to generate funds. We have a larger parent company that's very profitable. Our aim in launching Ecomoto was for something that would grow over 10 or 20 or 30 years and make a positive difference to the people of Kenya. And that's really where we're focusing. The vehicles are if you rule out the import duty and the various other taxes involved in selling them, they're basically sold almost at cost price. So our aim is really to grow market share.
Can you take us through maybe, we have talked about the range, can you give us specs about what of the bike, let's say peak, and stuff like that?
Yes. Yeah, if you look at the E50, the motorcycle scooter, for instance, the electric scooter, it has a range of about 60 kilometers or something. It has it's not a fast electric scooter, but it can go about 60 kilometers an hour at top speed. So it is something that's very much the workhorse of our range. It's very much the workhorse of our range. Once again, it's filled with all the technology that I spoke about earlier. It's tracking via smartphones, smartphone control, all of these sorts of things. But it's also for use for people that do their daily commute, that don't need a super bike, for instance. But our range goes up to bikes which are analogues, I suppose, of petrol-driven super bikes that are racing vehicles that have top speeds of 130, 140 kilometers an hour and have a higher range. So the range really differs. I think our range, you'll see on our website, is something around 30 to 32 different vehicles, not including the quad bikes. So our aim is to have something for every pocket and every need. We also have motorcycles that have a lot of storage space, because as you know, boda drivers are often transporting not only individuals, but they're transporting goods as well.
Very true.
I have a photograph on my phone of somebody with a 3-piece suite on the back of their boda. Well, I can't say our vehicles can transport 3-piece suites, because I don't think they can, but everything less than that they can quite comfortably.
Okay. If I may ask, in terms of how do you use yourself in the future, which other plans do you have? in the future?
Expansion. Expansion. The key thing is market share and brand recognition. Brand recognition we do through interactions like this, and once again I thank you very much for inviting me on. But market share we do through convincing people of the benefits, and as I say, it's almost a no-brainer. The thing that holds us back in terms of expansion here is purely the price point. If we could reduce the price point by half, we believe we'd be into the mass adoption phase. I'm not only speaking now about Ecomoto. There are a few other companies like ours in the market that have similar challenges. If we can reduce generally the cost of electric vehicles, then we're into the mass market and the boda market. That is a way real growth lies in this country. We need the government's help to do that, but as time goes by, technology will lead us to reduce prices. We all know, we spoke about, I think, before we came on, about how smartphones have evolved over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I had one of the first smartphones that was released that was almost like a suitcase. I was carrying it around. When I dialed the number and pressed send, it gave me a headache. The strength of it was so great. Technology enables a battery power, for instance, to shrink and become more powerful. Prices will come down as a result. Then we'll see a lot more growth. But at the moment, our growth is through making the argument. These will save you money. These will save your children's health. Once you understand those 2 points, then it's just a question of getting the cash together to make the initial investment. We're helping people try to do that. Where are we going to be in the next 5 years? Well, we'd hopefully have an Ecomoto branch in every sizable city in this country, and not just in this country, but across sub-Saharan Africa and down through South Africa as well. That's our aim.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I think I should talk to you nicely. I need this E400.
That's a nice vehicle.
Yeah.
It's a nice vehicle. I look forward, maybe on another episode of your show, to you taking that for a test drive.
Exactly.
I would like to show you, for your viewers to see you on that, and for you to give your honest views about how you think it works.
No problem. We'll pay a visit one of these days. Thank you so much for hosting you today, and we're looking forward to be part of this journey. And come 26th of this November, we're having a summit, EV Summit, at University of Nairobi. And we don't shy to invite you guys. At least you come and talk more about your product. And if possible, come and showcase some of your super dope vehicles.
It would be my pleasure. And thank you very much again for inviting us on. We really do appreciate it.
That is all we had for this show. Thank you for staying tuned and thank you for watching. Remember that we are going to have an EV Summit on the 26th of this month. Make sure to catch us then. And see you next time, next week, same place, same time. Bye.